market developments this afternoon. We're joined on the line by Lindile Malgas, investment strategist at Absa Investments. Good to have you with us once again, Lindile. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Thami, and good afternoon to the listeners.
Perhaps let's jump straight into it with an overview of the latest performance in both global and local markets.
So in terms of market performance, we are seeing in the US, markets opening slightly lower, so continuing from the losses we saw yesterday. In Europe, the picture is a bit mixed. The Euro stocks is trading a bit higher, but then you are seeing the UK market, the FTSE 100 is down. And then look at the Asian stocks, they are in a bit of more positive territory. So rebounding from the declines that we saw yesterday. And then bringing it back to our local markets, they are currently trading up in positive territory. So the Aussie marginally positive, up about 0.1%. We are seeing that these gains are being led by industrials, so seeing some strong performance there. And then financials also being in the green, whilst you are seeing the resources which have been performing quite strongly. They are giving back some of those gains that they saw throughout the week. And then also seeing the local currency, it has been relatively stable so far, but still at strong levels around 17 Rand 30.
Now, we see the earnings season in the United States that's kicked off with major banks releasing their Q3 results. Is there any bank or company that you've been tracking, and what was the key takeaways perhaps from their earnings?
Yes, so in terms of the banks and earnings season, they have set quite a good tone for this season, seeing majority of them delivering quite solid results. And then we are seeing some of that being backed by stronger investment banking activity, so the likes of JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and Citigroup. But maybe let's take a look at the biggest one there, which is JP Morgan. So they deliver quite solid results as well. Revenue increasing by 9%, earnings are delivering a 16% growth, so even stronger than what you're seeing with revenue. And we are seeing that interest revenue, that increasing by 2%, but you are seeing that most of that growth is coming from the non-traditional revenue, so the non-interest revenue, that rising by 16%, and it has been also driven by higher asset management fees. As you've seen year to date, markets have been fairly strong as well. Then the company, from a return on equity, which is a key metric for banks, quite strong at around 17%. And markets also tend to look at what the CEO of JP Morgan normally says about his economic outlook. So they're still noting that the US economy is quite resilient, but they are seeing a bit of risks, and those arising from geopolitical tensions, and they're coming against a backdrop of elevated asset prices and also sticky inflation. So we did see markets reacting a bit negatively to that, down about 2% so far. And then on a year-to-date perspective, share price is on a run, up about 26%.
And now taking a look at the mining activity, the South African mining activity, that declined by 0.2% year on year in August. And what that does, it reverses that 5.1 year on year increase in July. Which are the sectors that contributed to this decline?
Yes, so certainly we did see that mining production figure falling into negative territory, and it was as a result of lower production figures on a year-on-year basis within the platinum group metals, which are the PGMs, gold as well as manganese also. We did see those production declines there on a year-on-year perspective, dragging that number back into a negative territory. But there were some green shoots in terms of the likes of coal, so those were the more positive contributors. And then on a month-to-month basis, which is the numbers that we tend to look at, we also did see that the mining production figures, those erasing the gains from the prior month and falling by about 1.2%.
And what are the other economic releases that the markets are expecting this week?
Yes, so certainly have seen most of those being released, but in the Eurozone, we are expecting the release of the inflation figures. Markets are expecting inflation within the region in September to come in around 2.2%, so relatively stable compared to what you saw in the flash print. So markets not expecting a major change there. Then I think the key thing will be on the earnings season for the third quarter within the US. So markets will certainly be keeping an eye out on that as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lindile Malgas, for the updates today as far as the movements in global and local markets. Looking forward to our chat again next week.
Thanks, Thami.
Thank
Always
you.
great to talk.
Certainly is. Have a good one. That's Lindile Malgas, his investment strategist at Absa Investment. He takes us to exactly 4:55 Central African time as we recap what we had in store for you.